So what would be your top tips and tricks for people who maybe have a LinkedIn profile that they set up donkeys years ago and want to kind of revamp it and get the most out of LinkedIn? What would your tips and tricks be for them?
Oh, thank you, Michelle. Tip number one is spend a bit of time. You might even spend a day on it. Spend a lot of time on your profile getting it beautiful. Like one of the biggest problems of LinkedIn, and Microsoft will tell you the same thing, it's not just Ed's opinion, is people just don't update their profiles. They don't have up-to-date email addresses. They don't have phone numbers. I know this sounds so simple, but most people, it's like they don't even have their work history. So what I encourage you is spend a lot of time on your LinkedIn and update everything. Update your bio, get a really nice photo, doesn't have to be professional, and update your whole history, right? So really spend a lot of time on your LinkedIn profile. That's point one. Point two is start sharing content every day. Now, the question to ask is what sort of content, Ed? Say something positive, share information, share value. And one of the reasons why I like your content, Michelle, is you share a lot of inspirational stuff. So I would call you you're not a technical influencer, I would call you an inspirational influencer in terms of the stuff you...
an influencer before, oh my goodness.
Well, you were an influencer before I was, right? Which is interesting. But for example, if I look at your content, Michelle, you don't actually share solutions to my life's problems, but what you share is you share positivity, you share stuff that makes me feel good. So I love your posts because when I see your posts, be it on LinkedIn or Facebook, they make me feel good. So it's inspirational. So be inspiring, be positive. And if you are more technically minded, let's say, you're an accountant, share tax tips, share inspiration, share value, because that's what gets people like you and that's what builds your follower base.
Absolutely. And we've been talking a lot about social media essentially being a social platform. With LinkedIn, do you find it's more professional as opposed to social, or what's been your experience with that?
It has changed a lot, because originally LinkedIn used to be very much the old white guys in suits, right? How dare you be female, and how dare you not wear a business suit on LinkedIn? And I'm not, what's funny is I'm not kidding. Sexism was a problem on LinkedIn. A lot of the old sexist white guys sort of, telling everyone how the platform works. And thank God Microsoft didn't like that, right? Microsoft made it a more inclusive place. So what's happened is, in a way, and I don't want to compare LinkedIn to Facebook, because that's not very nice to LinkedIn, and I love LinkedIn. But in a way, I see not just me, but I see LinkedIn as, I just got to hold on to my hat. The wind's picked up or I'll lose my hat. I see LinkedIn as basically Facebook, like the business platform of Facebook, because all the people of substance on Facebook left for LinkedIn. So at the end of the day, we're still doing social stuff on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has become, in a way, social media for business people and professionals. So again, if you're a person of substance and you want to help people, LinkedIn's a place for you. If you just want to look good and collect likes, maybe Instagram or Facebook's better for you. But if you are of substance, you want to help people, LinkedIn is your home, and I can certainly consider that in my case.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that I love about what you're doing on LinkedIn is it's all about empowering people to find their why, and then they can go and articulate that on LinkedIn in a way that builds a really great community. And one of the other things we've been talking about is using social media as a place to be found, as opposed to like going and constantly selling, but just kind of putting yourself out there and then having people connect you. What's the best connection that you've ever made on LinkedIn?
Well, the answer is I make great connections every day on LinkedIn, and I couldn't agree with you more. I see LinkedIn, one of the reasons why I make LinkedIn is that it's about attracting the right people to you. So I'm not about chasing people for business. I'm about putting myself out there, and the right people will find me. And I make great connections all the time. A good example would actually be a man we both know. Well, actually, you don't know him. Remember how you and I met in New York for the Meetup conference, right?
Yeah.
And great. I loved your speaking slot, by the way. That was awesome, Michelle, when you spoke in New York, right? Obviously pre-virus. This is obviously pre-virus, right? But I had all these Meetup connections, but after we left, a new manager started by the name of David Siegel. I'm connected to David Siegel on LinkedIn, and he's the CEO of Meetup today, and he's helped me out so much. So I've got so many great connections. And the beauty of LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is very personal, because once you connect to someone, in a way, you can see all their details, you can message each other. It's so much more richer and effective than, you know, Instagram or Facebook. You know, LinkedIn just does such a better job of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say for creative businesses? Because I know you help people all different walks of life from every corner of the world. So people like my tribe who are a creative business, what would be your best tip and trick for the best way to use LinkedIn?
Well, creative businesses do well on LinkedIn because, like, for example, and I know this topic very well, when you post with more color, you're going to get more views. So, for example, if I look at your background, I can tell you've spent a lot of time getting that background perfect because it is. And basically, what it allows, and this is what I really like, check out the view, huh? What I really like is that creative businesses do well because you've got a lot of color, you've got interesting things to talk about, and that helps you get a lot of views. So as a creative business, and the other thing is as well, there aren't that many creative businesses on LinkedIn, so it gives you the opportunity because it's a bit like on Instagram. If you're in fitness, it's very hard to take off on Instagram because everyone there's on fitness. If you're in fitness on LinkedIn, it's very easy to take off because no one in fitness is on LinkedIn. So it's a whole when the market zigs, you zag sort of argument, you know? So yeah.
Excellent. Now, if people want to get in contact with you because they want help really kind of, you know, deep diving down into what LinkedIn can do for you, what's the best way that people watching can contact you?
Our best thing to do is add me on LinkedIn and say, I heard you speak to Michelle Worthington. And I just got to remember this for a bit of fun as well. Michelle Worthington's amazing, everyone. For my fans watching, please get Michelle Worthington. Remember when I first met you, I've got a bit of a man crush on Sam Worthington. I asked if you were related. And are you related to the legendary Sam Worthington?
Yes, he's my ex-husband.
Oh, jealous. I want to sleep with him too. Just kidding. So there you go. Anyway, but seriously, add me on LinkedIn. And also too, please as well, if you're watching this, please follow. I've known Michelle Worthington for years. Michelle Worthington, a woman of integrity. You want to follow her, right? And remember, you were an influencer before I was. So something to remember, Michelle.
I am just so grateful that the universe brought us together. And honestly, if anyone watching wants to find out a bit more how to use LinkedIn effectively, this is the guy that you need to contact. Absolutely. I can't thank you enough, the beautiful Ed, for taking the time from the gorgeous Sydney to give your little expertise and your tips and tricks. And I really encourage anybody who wants to find out more about LinkedIn to definitely contact you. So thank you again.
Pleasure. I just like to give some final views. Of course, Harbour Bridge and of course, Opera House right there. So at least I can do.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.